6 months after the Panama Papers cast a spotlight on the vast extent of international tax evasion and fraud, the president of Panama is visiting Germany. He wants to drum up investment, but he also has the difficult task of rebuilding trust. President Juan Carlos Varela, welcome to the interview on DW.
Thank you, Jenny, for the opportunity to show Germany and the world the honest face of Panama, which is committed to financial transparency and politics that serve the people.
And welcome to you as well. I am Jenny Pettis in Berlin. How trustworthy is Panama 6 months after the tax revelations?
Entirely trustworthy. The term Panama Papers is inappropriate. The documents cast light on the global problem of tax evasion. Panama has acted responsibly and swiftly. Over the past 28 months, we've taken decisive steps that affirm our commitment to a transparent financial system. We're in the forefront of international efforts to protect financial systems.
But, Mr. President, Panama is on France's blacklist and has had to enhance financial transparency because it was given an ultimatum by the OECD and the G20. Is Panama still dangerous territory for the international financial order?
The blacklist is a domestic matter for France, where tax is an important issue in the upcoming elections. But Japan, Germany, and the United States have acknowledged that Panama has been proactive in addressing the problems and passed laws to protect the financial system in the interest of the common good. So we are optimistic.
Mr. President, according to Transparency International's Corruption Perceptions Index, Panama ranks lower than Rwanda and Cuba, including its judicial system. What do you say to that?
It's simply wrong. Our country has changed. Of course, we have to deal with our past, even if we're not directly responsible for it. But over the past 28 months, we've done a lot regarding accountability and the separation of powers. For the first time, state institutions are working properly. There is accountability. The country is making progress because it guarantees its institutions respect the law.
Including the press? A couple of days ago, the Inter-American Press Association called on your government to end its campaign to weaken critical media that have reported on the Panama Papers and, as it put it, the declining popularity of the president. Is that how your government sees transparency?
The association was wrong and acted impulsively. It made these assertions at the end of its conference, so the government could not present its case. Nobody's questioning the media in general, just a few things certain individuals did at a time when they were in charge of state-owned banks. It has nothing to do with press freedom, which Panama respects. Just read our newspapers.
And the censored paper of the Pasa Group?
No papers are censored. Certain individuals in the media face questions about certain infractions of the law.
So there's no intimidation?
You have to distinguish between various issues that have nothing to do with each other. We're talking about misappropriation of state funds at the state bank. The relevant authorities are investigating the cases.
Mr. President, a month ago you told Bloomberg that the Panama Papers are a media matter. Are you saying the media created the problem?
Tax evasion is a global issue. If you mean the problem but say Panama Papers, that is a media artifact. The Panama Papers is what the media talk about, but tax fraud is global.
The OECD says Panama should adopt the measures it has proposed to enhance transparency. Have you made as much progress as other countries?
Panama has been following this path since 2009, when I was foreign minister. Then I had to leave the government, which slowed things down. But when the people elected me as their president, the tempo picked up and we've done everything we were asked to do. Between 2011 and 2013, the country was indeed not doing the right thing. But I accept my responsibilities and have the support of Parliament, which swiftly passed a series of laws.
You say you are doing everything that has to be done. But the U.S. economist and Nobel laureate Joseph Stiglitz has said the Panamanian government is not committed to transparency. What do you say to that?
He had been invited to join a commission investigating our financial system. He and the Panamanians on the commission failed to agree on the criteria. But those members are by no means close to the government. They're independent, experienced, and very professional. Nonetheless, there were differences of opinion, and Mr. Stiglitz decided to leave. The commission's report will be published.
It wasn't only Stiglitz who resigned, but also the Swiss anti-corruption expert Mark Pete. They both said the government did not want to know the whole truth. Why won't you allow the report to be published in its entirety?
The report will be published. The participation of outside experts was important to us, but differences emerged and the two decided to resign. But they're still welcome to take part and to look at the findings.
They and also the Panamanian press say you have close ties to individuals under investigation, including the lawyer Ramon Fonseca. What are your connections to him?
Our political ties are currently under investigation. He was vice president of our political party, and he's a friend of mine. He has to answer the accusations for which he's being investigated.
How was it for you when the scandal broke?
My first thought was, what does it mean for my country? 99.8% of the economy has nothing to do with legal services, unlike tax havens, which depend on hosting offshore companies. Our economy depends on the fruit of our labor, the canal, the airports, tourism, and a large service sector. It has to do with our location and is the work of the Panamanian people. So we're not worried. The problem concerns 0.2% of the economy, and we took corrective measures at once.
How much did you know before the scandal broke and hit the headlines?
I'm an engineer, a numbers man. Economic growth is 6%. Unemployment is 3.5%. Inflation is less than 1%.
And the shell companies?
Well, that's a matter for the lawyers. All cases are under investigation, including ones that date from my time as foreign minister. I started my term as president by signing tax treaties and treaties on sharing tax information. At the foreign ministry, I learned a lot. All the progress Panama has made regarding financial transparency has happened on my watch, starting in 2009 when I became foreign minister, and since 2014 as president. Not that the financial system lacked any transparency. It's robust, and we have tough laws. The new international rules are key. They set the norms countries have to accept.
But did you know about the financial system before the scandal broke?
I had no direct knowledge of it. There are hundreds of thousands of companies in Panama, and now we know who owns what and how the system was exploited. The important thing is we've passed the relevant laws. We've abolished bearer shares. We now require companies to identify their owners. Shell companies are not specific to Panama. They're an issue in the United States, the Caribbean, Luxembourg, Switzerland, and many other countries.
France in 2011 and the IMF both called on Panama to enhance transparency. So here in Europe, we've been wondering how it's possible that there have been serious problems with the legal system.
We've acknowledged that and acted fast to make changes. Extensive measures are required given the international norms and the need to ensure that criminal organizations cannot exploit the financial system. But I cannot do it alone. Parliament has to pass legislation. The country's social and economic players need to reach a consensus. One thing is clear: it's the people who suffer the most.
Will you share information on financial and bank transactions with Germany and other countries?
That happens automatically. We've signed more than 20 treaties. The first was with Japan. I met Prime Minister Abe. We've written to all the countries we have tax treaties with to bring the treaties in line with the OECD guidelines on sharing information. The relevant clauses are already in our new treaties, and they will soon be added to our treaty with Germany.
So is the tax scandal having an impact on your most high-profile project, expanding the canal? Traffic and revenues have been declining for 6 months now. That is, since the scandal broke.
That has to do with the global economy. The expansion has been completed. About 180 ships have already passed through the canal. We expect income next year to rise by $600 million. We invest in projects to benefit the people of Panama. It's not a Panamanian scandal, but a global scandal.
Right, but it happened in Panama.
The connection to Panama is the fictional part of the story added by journalists. It's unfair to us Panamanians. Still, we faced up to the challenge.
Of course, Panama is a whole country, and Mossack Fonseca just a law firm. The question is, how did it get to be so powerful?
Well, firms like that are everywhere.
11.5 million documents were leaked. The entire global political order has been implicated.
Yes, but not all shell firms are based in Panama. That's why I say it's a global problem.
You met with Chancellor Merkel. What do you expect from Germany in this new period for Panama?
Germany plays a leading role in the European Union, and Panama wants to play the equivalent role in Central America and the Caribbean. We want closer ties with Germany in areas such as education, security, the war on terrorism, governance, strengthening democratic institutions, and social justice. Our aim is to pursue a kind of politics that benefits all the people of the planet. We've been following Ms. Merkel closely. She's a strong and humane leader. And what's more, the German economy is strong, and many German firms are involved in projects in Panama. German technology is everywhere, in the new subway and in the canal, for example.
Mr. President, thank you very much.